नमस्कार प्यारे भारतीय अतिथि सहयोगी और सहकर्मचारी आप सबका हार्दिक स्वागत है। आशा है आप सबको ये कार्य प्रोग्राम पसंद आएगा और हम सबको अच्छे दिन। Seja bem-vindo, amado colega brasileiro. Você fez a viagem mais longa de todas. Van Yin, Mao Zedong, Chen, Don Se Yu Zhongguo, Lai Yindu. Guten Morgen, liebe Gäste, Herr Schmersal, Herr Ott, Herr Steinrücke, liebe Kollegen und Freunde aus Deutschland. Wir beginnen unser Programm mit dem traditionellen Lamplighting. So we start our program. Oh, once again, one thing I forgot. My name is Heinrich Brüllau, and I'm your anchorman for today. So we start our program with the traditional lamplighting ceremony. For that ceremony, I would like to ask the following 14 eminent persons to come to the lamp. That is Mr. Schmersal, Mrs. Schmersal, Mr. Sagar Bosle, Mr. Ott, Mr. Steinrücke, Mr. Zubin Kabraji, Mr. Karl, Mr. Stove, Mr. Loss, Mrs. Schmersal-Haupt, Mr. Eisold, Mrs. Roy, Mr. Meyer, and Mr. Sander. Thank you very much and congratulations. I'm now inviting Mr. Sagar Bosle, CEO and MD of Schmersal India Private Limited, to give his welcome address.
Good morning, everyone. Respected dignitaries, all our customers, all our partners, and all our associates who could not join us today, but who have sent their wishes to us, I extend a warm welcome to all of you on behalf of my team of Schmersal India. At the outset, let me thank you for sparing your valuable time today from your busy schedule for joining us here. We actually gather here today to launch a campaign which we say is making the workplace safer in India. But the first question which comes up is, why do we need to launch a campaign? Do we think the workers who work in the plant like to work in hazardous conditions? Are they not worried? Or would they like to take a risk of losing their finger or a hand? Definitely no. Because when a worker who works on a machine loses his finger or a hand, it is not only he who suffers, it's the entire family back at home who feels the pain of it. And I think we definitely owe our responsibility to these families. And that's the particular reason why we start this campaign today, to make India a safer place, a workplace to work. And our ultimate objective to measure this success is to see happy families and smiling families back at home who are not worried about their people or their family members working in the plants. Further, as a nation, we are aware that we have set our target to increase the share of manufacturing in our GDP from 16% today to around levels of 25% by 2025. If we have to achieve this, there are two major things which we have to take care amongst lots of other things. The first is, which we discuss in various forums, is the availability of the skilled manpower which can work with machines. And second, to increase the share of manufacturing, we also need to make our industry much more competitive, much more productive as compared to the global peers. This is especially true for the medium and the small scale industries who have a shortage of funds, who do not have the necessary access to the latest technology which is available. If we come to the first point about the skilled manpower, the government has already initiated the National Skill Development Council, which takes care of training the employable youths and making them ready to work in the plants. As a company, Schmersal India does a lot of these workshops and trainings in various colleges and institutions. We also partner with the other automation companies and launch specific programs so that the engineers who pass out have the necessary skills to be employed directly. The second part about increasing the competitiveness of our industry can happen only if we are able to automate our machines. And when we automate our machines, the demand for safety is much higher. It places a much higher demands than the normal acceptable levels of safety. This demands of safety can be met if we have a clear knowledge about the norms and the standards which should be applied, which should form a base, as well as the solutions which are proposed should be easily and faster available. And I think Schmersal India currently makes a significant contribution in both these sectors of imparting the correct technical knowledge as well as giving the correct solutions. It was about 8 years back, knowing these demands in future, Schmersal management in Germany decided to start its own subsidiary in India. And they knew very well that this is a long and difficult journey before we see any substantial results. So, as we follow step by step, the first step was taken to start a subsidiary in India in 2007. And there were 3 members in 2007 for this company. But within the next 3 years, the 3 members built a team, and it was clear that the workplace needs a lot of knowledge and solutions. And then the thought came up to have our own industrial manufacturing plant in India. The decision was taken, but then in those time, that is, we talk about 4 or 5 years back, there was a global crisis, and this was dictating the investments of many companies in India. But the Schmersal group did not change its plans, and it continued its investments to build this world-class manufacturing plant here in India. Today, we are proud to present to you a world-class modern plant which not only imparts technical training to the customers, but also provides reliable solutions in terms of products which are manufactured here in this plant in Pune. The customers can now come here, test their solutions. They can check it before they try it on their machines. And all this facility is available here. Besides, not to say the products being manufactured here, we can now talk of deliveries in terms of days and not weeks, which we were having earlier. You will witness all this when you take a tour of the factory today, and this will give you enough confidence that the movement for safety has begun, and together we all can make it happen. Thank you.
It is now my pleasure to announce the first cultural part of our program. This is the Ganesha Vandana. So enjoy this piece of Indian dance, giving, it's a kind of prayer to the god Ganesha, which is the major god of all the Maharashtrians. So please enjoy it.
रिद्धि सिद्धि वृद्धि होती रिद्धि सिद्धि वृद्धि तेरे ही आने से और सुंदर ये सृष्टि होती और सुंदर ये सृष्टि तेरे ही आने से मोरया
अंधेरे कोने में जो दानव छुपा है मोरया, उसमें ही जय हो तो दिग्विजय हो तेरी तरह मोरया। लाख कोई दे हुंकारे, लाख कोई धमकारे,
Thank you for this wonderful, very modern interpretation of an age-old custom. I liked it very much. Did you like it? Okay, thank you. So I would now request first of our honored guests, Mr. Michael Ott, Acting Consul General of the Federal Republic of Germany, to give us his notes on the Indo-German developments.
Good morning, everybody, and thank you very much for having invited me, because I'm really proud. It's the first time for me that I find everything we always talk about so much incorporated in what you are doing here, Mr. Schmersal. Because when I came here 2.5 years ago to India, to the Consulate General in Mumbai, I'm not an economist. And I came from Los Angeles, and the idea was to come from Hollywood to Bollywood. Little did I know, because Bollywood, even though I'm really a film fan, is the smallest part of my work, and the biggest part are all the German companies that are here. And what we are talking about is always why the German companies fit so well into the landscape here in India, and they do it because we have so many German family-owned businesses. And Indians do the very same thing. So there's a very close connection on that level already. Not the anonymous American shareholder culture, but really people who like to invest, to reinvest, not only looking for the quick buck. And that is something we always try to convey on behalf of the consulate when we talk about why it is good to do business with Germany, in Germany, or with Germans coming to India. You do this perfectly here. I had the pleasure to walk with you through the facilities. And the other thing that we always try to tell is, yes, German products may be a little bit more expensive than what you get from other places sometimes, but you have a quality that you can rely on. And that's one of your principles. To get the quality at the same level, you do it in Germany, you do it in Brazil, you do it in China, you do it everywhere with the same quality. And the good part about it is, once that is accepted here in India, it raises the possibilities for India also in its competitiveness towards the world. Very often, products that first only came into the country will go out of the country again. I mean, there's a huge demand already here, so you have a sure market, but I think the possibilities for expansion are really great. Also, when I read, that's the other thing, what I really appreciate. As I said, I'm not an economist, and I didn't know what we Germans are doing worldwide. Everything that you are doing are probably mechanisms, systems that somehow a pure consumer like me takes for granted. And then suddenly, when you have the pleasure to accompany the creation of a new company, the start of a production, you see all these things that you take for granted, how they are made, how they are built in, and what an important part they carry in all those machines that are constructed in the products that get done then to the customer. And I think that's the strength of the German industry, especially the small and medium enterprises when they come to India. And that's the last thing I want to talk about is very often we hear about the huge investments that other countries do in India. Just a couple of days ago, I talked to my Canadian colleague in Bombay, and he was talking about the billions of dollars that have come in from their pension funds, etc. But all this can go out of the country very quickly again. We Germans stay. We have come during the difficult times also in India, in the last couple of years. We have built up productions here. You have built up productions here. It's not the government. That's another thing that I always appreciate and always tell to our Indian friends. It's not the government that solves the problems. In our country, it's the economy who does it. It's especially our small and medium enterprises, and that's another example to set for India here. We have already heard the aspiration of raising the levels of production here, so I think you're coming at the right moment. You have started the investment at the very right moment, and I hope it will be very fruitful. You have large plans, you have ideas of what's going to happen, and I really wish you that you will be able, for your company, for the German-Indo relations, and also for the country here, to fulfill all those dreams. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Ott, for your supportive words. I would now request Mr. Bernhard Steinricke, Director General of the Indo-German Chamber of Commerce, to give us his view on the development of the Indo-German economy.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Special welcome to Mr. Schmersal, Mrs. Schmersal, and Mrs. Schmersal, the small Schmersal family here, and the big Indo-German Schmersal family. It's a great pleasure for me to address you today because it's always great to be associated with the opening of another German factory in India, another German factory in Pune. We have about 1,800 German companies in India. The largest number we have now in Pune, because in the last couple of years, Pune has really emerged to, some people say, the Wolfsburg of India, some people say the Stuttgart of India. Well, both holds true looking at Volkswagen and Mercedes. But some people are even referring to it as the Detroit of India. Well, those people haven't been in Detroit for a long time. So from that angle, welcome to the Wolfsburg and the Stuttgart of India. And I'm so proud that another German family-owned company has made this step to invest here because, and Mr. Ott has mentioned it already, it proves that German unique system. I always ask my Indian friends, how is it possible that a small country like India, like Germany with just 80 million people, can be the world champion in exports for 6-7 consecutive years? Lately, the Chinese are supposed to have taken us over. Actually, I rather believe in the German numbers than in the Chinese numbers. That's a different story. There's a Chinese colleague over there. But generally, how is it possible that a small country like that is so strong in the world? Well, it's very simple. Like any good table that has 4 legs, the German success story also has 4 legs. The first leg is the German Mittelstand, the German SMEs like Schmersal that has grown, now 3rd generation, from nothing in 1945 to grow to be a global player. They are family-owned, very often 2nd, 3rd generation. Very often they are so-called hidden champions. They are market leader in their niche. They believe in innovation. They don't believe in bank loans, also very interesting. And they believe in their people. And there's a big loyalty. That's the first strong pillar. The second strong pillar is the German system of dual education. In Germany, of any school-leaving generation, more than 50% go through a thorough training of 2 to 3 years in more than 500 defined trades that have been developed not over decades but over centuries. And this is why Germany is able to produce quality for life, made in Germany. The third leg of that solid table is the German, or is the system of trade fairs. Out of the 200 leading trade fairs in the world, about 120 take place in Germany, which basically means that every year the world comes to Germany to show its latest innovation, but also to do business. By the way, next year in April, India will be the partner country of the Hanover Industrial Fair, the largest industrial fair in the world, where we will give India and the new government under Mr. Modi the opportunity to present its Make in India story. And the fourth leg of that solid table are us, the chamber network. In Germany, the membership in the local chamber is mandatory by law. And this is why we have 3.5 million members in the Chambers of Commerce and Industry and another 1 million members in the Chambers of Skilled Craft. So those chambers are very well organized and they are a strong body. And we have the chambers abroad, like us, the Indo-German Chamber of Commerce. 130 offices in 90 countries, which basically means if a German goes abroad, he just has to go to his chamber and he's at home. And that makes life very, very easy. And this solid table is the German Wirtschaftswunder, as we call it, which has gone even through the worst crisis. When in 2008 we had the financial crisis, some people in Germany thought this is the end of the world. Well, I can tell you, they thought more in the big companies, in the global players, rather in the Mittelstand, because the Mittelstand, as we say, doesn't think in quarterly results, but in generations. And I'm very proud that today I'm here with such an example, the Schmersal family, which started from nothing to become one of the key pillars in an industrial field which is critical. I always say, for instance, in the chamber, we also are fairly good in problem solving, but we're even better in problem avoiding. And this is what Schmersal is doing. They are delivering products that are avoiding problems. And this is something which is very important for the industry, to have safe technology. And therefore, I'm very proud to be here today and to be with you at this grand opening. And it's also nice to know that you're coming from an area, Wuppertal, which is in the heart of Germany, the old industrial Germany. Some people have written it off, the Ruhrgebiet, the Wuppertal-Gebiet. But I can tell you, they always reinvent themselves and they go from strength to strength. And this is something extraordinary. I'm very happy to be here today. I wish you good luck in your endeavor. All the best for the associates, for the staff, for this beautiful factory. I hope your expansion will come sooner than later. And good luck. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Steinrück. It's always a pleasure listening to you. May I now request the main speaker of today, Mr. Heinz Schmersal, the president of the Schmersal Group, to give us his opinion on what's happening here in India.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry, I'm an engineer. I'm not a free speaker, but I will read a little bit and explain a little bit what's going on with Schmersal, the history, and what we're going to do the next years. And we had a meeting some days ago, and we expect a growth and a turnover. And later on, I will explain a little bit how to do that, what kind of technology we want to implant here. But first, let me say a hearty welcome to you both, Mr. Ott and Mr. Steinrück, for coming here for this presentation. And the main sentences will be written there, Make in India. And that was the way we started our business with Saga 8 years ago. We decided Make in India. 100% the next year if it's possible, but that's a start. You have seen it when we make a short trip, what we started with, that mechanic devices, but later on you will see we will also implant electronics and monitoring and safety circuits, but that's the future, I think, the next 10 years. But step by step it will grow. Let me explain a little bit the history of Schmersal. As we told before, the beginning was after the Second War with my two uncles and my father. One of the uncles overtook the company from my grandpa. It was an elevator company. Therefore, we have a lot of experience in elevator technology. And therefore, we implant, especially in Brazil, the competence center of elevator technology. And we deliver a lot of technology into elevators. And I can remember my father was badly injured in the Second War. And the first we prepared waffle irons. And he had a bicycle and he put it on the bicycle and he brought it to the customers, and 90% injured by war. You see, it was a hard life, but when you see what happened in this time, it's amazing, and I'm very proud to be the second generation after my father, and I will explain later on what happened in this time when my cousin and I overtook the company. And let's begin with the history. The elevator company was not so easy to settle in Wuppertal. First it was in Stuttgart, and the family is from Schwabenland, that means from Stuttgart, and sometimes at home we speak Schwäbisch, that's a slang, and that was, after the Second War, a very bad time, and they settled over to North Rhine-Westphalia, to Wuppertal, and they started with the company, and also the second generation with the elevator company was very good, but at last the big companies like Otis overtook the company, and we had to sold it. But our company was still in growth, and let me explain a little bit here. As I mentioned, 1945 was the start, and 1970 we were one of the first companies which developed safety switches, electronic safety switches, proximity switches. We lost a little bit the strategic way, and big companies came beside, like EFM, like Pepperl and Fuchs, but step by step we could follow, but we were the first. 1974, we had a cooperation, a joint venture in Brazil with German companies like Raffi, Zettler, and Euchner, well-known German companies, and it was a hard time. You know, we had an inflation in Brazil from 1,500%, and to handle business with an inflation of 1,500% was nearly impossible. We had a printer in the cellar for the prices, and every day we had a new price, and but we survived, and I think 85% of German companies which settled in Brazil didn't survive. But at last, we did it really good, and now it's one of the best companies in the group in Brazil. In 1996, we overtook 100% from all the other guys, and now today in 2014, we have a turnover or revenue for 44 million euros, I think in euros, sorry, and we have nearly 400 employees. In 1982, my cousin and I, we overtook the company from our fathers. Both parties had 50%. That was a pity. 50% is not so easy to handle it. Well, and in 1998, we had an acquisition of Elan. That's a company, a well-known company in safety monitoring near Frankfurt. And today, in 2040, we have a revenue from 26 million euros and 150 employees. And in 1999, you see step by step, it was going on, acquisition and technology. And we had a cooperation switchgear in Shanghai. And it was from the beginning 100% Schmersal. And the officials made a big help, and we had a good investment. And today we have nearly 18 million euros revenue and 160 employees. And I think a lot of you know that we just finished a real big building in Shanghai, or outside Shanghai, Shingpu, and that's an investment for the Asian market, not only for China. In 2004, I took the full control of the group. I paid my cousin, and in 2007, my son Philip, I'm an engineer, Therefore, I'm not so used to speak free, but nevertheless, it works. I think so. My son, Philip, in 2007, came to the company first as an assistant, and then 3 years later, he was also CEO in the company. And 2008, we had a new acquisition, safety control in the south of Germany, near Munich, and especially for optoelectronic devices, live curtains, a small company with a revenue of 5 million euros and 25 employees. 2012, there was a beginning of the building a new production facility here in India. We have an area from 20,000 square meters and an office area from 1,100 square meters and production area of 4,000 square meters. And I think that was a really good investment, and we have enough space for growth. Nearby, we plan the next years a central stock and another building maybe for electronic devices, that both electric, electronic, or electromechanical devices can come together in one stock. And that's a system we have also in Brazil and in Wuppertal. In 2013, we invested in a new stock, a central stock in Wuppertal for about 12 million euros, very modern, so that we can cancel all the other stock in other countries. That was a centralizing of stocks in Wuppertal. Now, 2014, the headquarters in Wuppertal, we have about 700 employees, and the revenue reached about 87 million euros. That means in total, the entire Schmersal Group generated a consolidated revenue of 205 million euros and has more than 1,700 employees. For a family-owned company and beginning at 1945 after the Second War, I think we can be proud, everybody here, that we have done a very, very good, successful job. Therefore, also for my family and also for the partners of the Schmersal Group, since many, many years they did an excellent job, and you have seen what they have done here. It was their turn, and thank you for that. For I think we can also be proud, beside the daily business they have in Germany, what they have done here. Excellent. Thanks a lot, gentlemen. Now a little bit about the technology, the portfolio of the Schmersal Group. You know, we are in a good growth the last years in safety products, guard door monitoring, optoelectronic safety devices, command devices with safety functions, safety-oriented tactile safety guards, safe signal processing, command devices and indicator lights, as interface, safety at work, and X switchgear. You see, there's always a niche, and we are very happy to be in the niche. We can't fight normally against Siemens, Honeywell, Rockwell. These are giants, but the niche, and that's very typical for middle-sized companies. We are not in confrontation, we are not competitors with these big companies, but we can deliver from one piece to maybe some thousand pieces, and especially for customer wishes. And that's our target, and to be flexible. And I think that should be the way we want to run the next years also, especially also in India. Then we started again with safety solutions, elevator and escalators. The big companies like Hitachi, like Schindler, like Otis are our customers worldwide. And I think also step by step, when we crossed this morning also the area, big buildings and companies are growing, and they need elevators, they need escalators. I expect the next year's big malls inside Pune, and so therefore I think that would be also a range of wonderful investments and also technologies. Then we are also in packaging, in food, machine tools, heavy industries, and also automotive and automobile. And now the next step will be safety services. We need step-by-step application-related consultancy. We need EC conformity assessments. That's, I think, should be also a target. Step by step, I'm sure India will become one of the major export nations, and they need the conformity from the authorities and the acceptance, and that is the way we want to go, that also India can deliver worldwide from India, not only for the Indian market, also worldwide. I will explain later on how to do. And also very, very important is for us training for the people. And I think we have a schedule how to train the people, what we want to do. Well, very simple sometimes. They start reading, they start calculating, and to get step by step a good profession. And therefore we spoke about that the university is growing step by step in Pune, a good university. And maybe, well, we stay a little bit outside, but I think we can get also good engineers, for we need technology and engineers, maybe from Pune or other countries, but that's the way we have to go, and it's not so easy to recruit these guys. Well, let me short explain, why did we decide to invest in a new manufacturing location in India? India is one of the big 5 nations, BRICS. You know BRICS? It's named for Brazil, Russia, India, China, and the S for South Africa. They are considered as emerging economics, but partially they are already economic heavyweights in the global community, Brazil and China. Brazil, our company named ACE, Acessores Eléctricos, así es un brasileiro, encantado, supplies all of South America and parts of North America. Germany CAS serves the European company. China, SCSS, is the supplier for the Asian region, and India, I consider it as a continent, has the second highest growth rate worldwide. Therefore, it makes sense to invest in India. However, except for some high-tech technologies which are developed in India, IT sector, Mars probe, nuclear market, it is still an emerging economy. India is the most populous country on earth. It's an awakened giant, similar to China about 20, 30 years ago. Since free market economy is much more customary in India than in China. There are different marketing conditions, free market and controlled market, like in China. I'm convinced that India will become global export champion within the next decades. That's not Germany anymore, and it will not be China anymore. I think India has the potential and manpower and technology and knowledge. This conviction was the essential factor why we decided to invest in India. Many of our international customers decided to invest in India. Since these customers usually list our products globally, their request to source locally manufactured products directly out of India for the Indian market was comprehensible. They can save expenses for freight, duty, and logistics. It is our strategic approach that all Schmersal production facilities, including India, are equipped with the same machines and the same tools. All products manufactured in India for the national and international market should be produced based on global specifications and meet international Schmersal standards. This means no matter where in the world a customer orders our products, the delivered quality is always the same. All from national and international authorities requested registrations are, of course, included. Initially, we will start to align mechanical applications to this global Schmersal standard. In the medium term, electromechanical and electronic safety relays will follow. The slogan, protection for man and machine, is also valid for India, as Saga told before. To realize our ideas, it is obviously necessary to train, guide, and educate all of our Indian employees. That means vocational training as well as teaching, reading, writing, and mathematics. Since the full capacity utilization of Schmersal India is not yet reached, that's a startup program and it cannot be fulfilled totally, now would be the perfect timing to start with the before mentioned qualification activities. Now we would like to thank everybody who actively supported our India project. We very much appreciate the hard work and the dedication from the entire team. We strongly believe that our investment in India will become similar successful than all other business of the Schmersal Group. Thank you very much for your attention. It is a pleasure for me to stay here and to say thanks a lot of everybody, also for the architects and the guys which were involved in this business. And I'm absolutely sure that we will have success worldwide, especially also in India. And I think also it was the best moment to invest in India, and it was the beginning, of course. And as I heard what the team told me yesterday, in 2018 they expect a turnover from 1 billion of rupees. That would be fine. That means 12.5 million euros. You are welcome. Thanks a lot for everybody.
Well, thank you, Mr. Schmersal. I think you spoke for yourself. I can't add anything. Just for relaxation, we are now having the second part of the cultural program. Please enjoy that.
Janu, jam 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 taka janu, jam 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 tajam tajam. Jam 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 taka janu, jam 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 taka janu, jam 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 tajam tajam. Jam 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 taka janu, jam 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 taka janu, jam jam tajam tajam. Jam 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 taka janu, jam jam taka janu, jam jam tajam tajam.
Beam beam tam tam takadum beam beam tam tam takadum beam beam tam tam takadum tam
jam 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 taka janu, jam jam taka janu, jam jam tajam tajam. Jam jam taka janu, jam taka janu, jam tajam tajam.
ತುಕ್ಕು ತರಿಕಿಟ ತಕ ನಕ ತರಿಕಿಟ ಕಿಣ ಕಿಣ ತರಿಕಿಟ ಜನ ಜನ ತಾಂ ತಕ್ ತುಕ್ಕು ತರಿಕಿಟ ತಕ ನಕ ತರಿಕಿಟ ಜನ ಜನ ತಾಂ ಕಿಣ ಕಿಣ ತಾಂ ಜನ ಜನ ತಾಂ
ಜೇಮ್ 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 ತಗ ಜಣು ಜೇಮ್ 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 ತಗ ಜಣು ಜೇಮ್ ಜೇಮ್ ತ ಜೇಮ್ 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 ತಜಂ ತಜಂ ಜೇಮ್ 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 ತಗ ಜಣು ಜೇಮ್ 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 ತಗ ಜಣು ಜೇಮ್ ಜೇಮ್ ತ ಜೇಮ್ 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 ತಜಂ ತಜಂ ತಜಣು ತದಿಮಿ ತಗ ತಜಣು ತದಗ ಜಂ ತದೀಂ ತದಿತಾಂ ದತಾಂ ತಜಣು ತಾಂ ತಜಣು ತದಿಮಿ ತಗ ತಜಣು ತಗ ತಜಂ ತದೀಂ ತದಿತಾಂ ತತಾಂ ತಜಣು ತಾಂ ತಗದಿಮಿ ತಜಂ ತದಗದಿಮಿ ತಣಂ ತದಗದಿಮಿ ತರಂ ತಜಂ ತಜಂ 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 ತದರಿತಾಂ ತದನತಾಂ ತಜನುತಾಂ ತದಿಮಿತಾಂ ತದಜ್ಜಂ ತದಜ್ಜಂ ತಜಂ ತಜಂ ತಾಂ ತತ್ತೀಗಿಣದುತಾಂ ತತ್ತೀಗಿಣದುತಾಂ ತತ್ತೀಗಿಣದು ತದರಿತಾಂ ತದನತಾಂ ತಜನುತಾಂ ತದಿಮಿತಾಂ ತದಜ್ಜಂ ತದಜ್ಜಂ ತಜಂ ತಜಂ ತಾಂ ತದೀಗಿಣದುತಾಂ ತದೀಗಿಣದುತಾಂ ತದೀಗಿಣದು ತದರಿತಾಂ ತದನತಾಂ ತಜನುತಾಂ ತದಿಮಿತಾಂ ತದಜ್ಜಂ ತದಜ್ಜಂ ತಜಂ ತಜಂ ತದೀಗಿಣದು 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 ಜೇಮ್ 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 ತಗ ಜಣು ಜೇಮ್ 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 ತಗ ಜಣು ಜೇಮ್ ಜೇಮ್ ತ ಜೇಮ್ 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 ತಜಂ ತಜಂ ಜೇಮ್ 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 ತಗ ಜಣು ಜೇಮ್ 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 ತಗ ಜಣು ಜೇಮ್ ಜೇಮ್ ತ ಜೇಮ್ ಜೇಮ್ ತ ತಜಂ ತಜಂ ಜೇಮ್ 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 ತಗ ಜಣು ಜೇಮ್ 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 ತಗ ಜಣು ಜೇಮ್ ಜೇಮ್ ತ ಜೇಮ್ 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 ತಜಂ 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 ತಜಂ
தனனதிர்திர்தானி ததானி தனோம் தனன தனோம் தனன தனதரனா தனனதிர்திர்தானி ததானி தனோம் தனன தனோம் தனன தனதரனா தனனதிர்திர்தானி ததானி
தத்த தை திரள் தை தத்த தை திரள் தை தா தை தத்த தை 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 தத்த தா தை 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 தத்த தா தை 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 தத்த தா தை தை தா தை தா
தனனதிர்திர்தானி ததான் மக மக தம தம கம தசானி சா ககசானி சசனி தனி நித மக சகமம ககசானி சசனி தனி நித மக சகமம ககசானி சசனி தனி நித மக சகமம தனனதிர்திர்தானி ததானி தனோம் தனன தனோம் தனன தனதரனா தனனதிர்திர்தானி ததானி
கெத்தென்ன கிட்ட தக திரக தக திகடான தாதா தாதா கிட்ட தான தான தா கிட்ட தான தான தா கிட்ட தான தான தா
தனனதிர்திர்தானி ததானி தனோம் தனன தனோம் தனன தனதரனா தனனதிர்திர்தானி ததானி
தா 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 தை தை தத்த ஆ தை தை தத்த தா தை தை தத்
ஆ तनना दिर तानी तादानी तनो तन तनो तनन तन दरना तनना दिर तानी तादानी
1 2 3 4 5 रे 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 1 2 3 4 रे 1 2 3 4 रे 1 2 3 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 रे 1 3 रे 2 3 रे 3 3 रे 4 रे 5 रे 6 रे
ga 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 ma 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 da 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 ni 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 sa 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 ni sa da ni da ma ga ma ga sa ga ma da ni sa sa ni sa da ni da ma ga ma ga sa ga ma da ni sa sa ni sa da ni da ma ga ma ga sa ga ma da ni sa
जीव झाला येडा पिसा त्याच नाही भरवसा तोल राहीना राखली ती मर्जी तुमच्याच वडीनं मी आले फिरतीच्या या रंगीराया चिंबोली मी झाले राया सोडात तरी काय येळ नाही बरी पुन्हा भेटू कवा तरी साजना मला जाऊ द्या न घरी वाजले की बारा 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 एकच पैशाचा मला मोठा असं काय करता दाजी हिला भेटा की येत्या बाजारी हे सहाची बी गाडी गेली नावाची बी गेली आता बाराची गाडी निघाली हिला जाऊ द्या न घरी वाजले की बारा मला जाऊ द्या न घरी वाजले की बारा गुपित राखू गुपित राखू मोरवानी डौल माझा मैनेवानी तोरा औंधाच्या वर सलामी गाठला वय सोळा जीवा लागली गोडी तरी कळ काढा थोडी घडी आताची तुम्ही राहू द्या मला जाऊ जाऊ द्या ना वाजले की बारा मला जाऊ द्या ना वाजले की बारा मला जाऊ द्या ना घरी आता वाजले की बारा जाऊ द्या ना घरी एकच पैशाचा मला मोठा काय करता दाजीला भेटा की त्या बाजारी हे सहाची बी गाडी गेली नावाची बी गेली आता बाराची गाडी निघाली वाजले की बारा मला जाऊ द्या ना घरी वाजले की बारा
ਦਰਬਾਰਾ ਵਿਚਲਾ ਕੀ ਰੁਕਦੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਦਿਲ ਤੇ ਫੇਰੇ ਤੀ ਰੁਕਦੇ ਤੂੰ ਸਾਡੀ ਇਹ ਤਕਦੀਰ ਰੁਕਦੇ ਤੇਰੀ ਅੱਖੀਆਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਤਸਵੀਰ ਰੁਕਦੇ ਸਾਡੀ ਸੋਹਣੀ ਬਣ ਜਾ ਹੀ ਰੁਕਦੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਤੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਪਿਆਰ
Style can't be duplicated or recycled.
ਆਓ ਨੱਚੀਏ ਜਦੋਂ ਅੱਖ ਮਟਕਾਵੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਸੋਹਣੀ ਲੱਗਦੀ ਨੀ ਜਦੋਂ ਗੁੱਤ ਨੂੰ ਕਵਾਵੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਸੋਹਣੀ ਲੱਗਦੀ ਚਾਵਾ 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 ਦੀ ਕੁੜੀਏ ਬਸਮੀ ਰੰਗੀਏ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਕਿਤੇ ਲੁੱਟ ਜਾਵਾ ਨੀ ਸੋ ਤੇਰਾ ਚਿੱਤ ਕੱਢਦਾ ਦਿਲ ਦਾ ਹਾਲ ਸੁਣਾਵਾ ਨੀ ਮੇਰੇ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਬੱਲੀਏ ਨੀ ਤੇਰਾ ਬਾਤ ਲਿਖਾਇਆ ਨਾਮ ਮੇਰੇ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਬੱਲੀਏ ਨੀ ਤੇਰਾ ਬਾਤ ਲਿਖਾਇਆ
ਦੇਸੀ ਜੱਟ ਨੂੰ ਵਲੈਤੀ ਦਾ ਚੱਲਦੀ ਨੀ ਗੜਿਆ ਚ ਗੁੱਟਦਾ ਜਦੋਂ ਮਾਰਿਆ ਗਲੀ ਚ ਲਲਕਾਰਾ ਗੁਆਂਢ ਸਾਰਾ ਲੁੱਟਦਾ ਫਿਰੇ ਉਹ ਦੇਸੀ ਜੱਟ ਨੂੰ ਉਹ ਦੇਸੀ ਜੱਟ ਨੂੰ ਉਹ ਦੇਸੀ ਜੱਟ ਨੂੰ ਵਲੈਤੀ ਦਾ ਕਾੜ ਕੇ ਨੀ ਗੜਿਆ ਚ ਗੁੱਟਦਾ ਫਿਰੇ ਉਹ ਦੇਸੀ ਜੱਟ ਨੂੰ ਉਹ ਦੇਸੀ ਜੱਟ ਨੂੰ ਵਲੈਤੀ ਦਾ ਕਾੜ ਕੇ ਨੀ ਗੜਿਆ ਚ ਗੁੱਟਦਾ ਫਿਰੇ
ਅਸੀਂ ਦਿਲ ਦੀ ਕਦੇ ਨੀ ਮੇਰੇ ਰੱਖਦੇ ਤੂੰ ਫਿਕਰ ਨਾ ਕਰ ਕੁੜੀਏ ਨੀ ਪੁੱਤ ਜੱਟਾਂ ਦੇ ਜੱਟਾਂ ਦੇ ਸ਼ੌਕੀਨ ਖਾਣ ਪੀਣ ਦੇ ਐਵੇਂ ਸਾਤੋਂ ਡਰ ਕੁੜੀਏ ਯਾਰ ਵੀ ਨਸਲ ਦੀਆਂ ਘੋੜੀਆਂ ਦੋ ਦੋ ਤੇਰੇ ਅੱਤ ਗੁੱਗੇ ਦੀਆਂ ਜੋੜੀਆਂ ਕਿੰਨਿਆਂ ਕਬੂਤਰਾਂ ਦੀ ਕੋਠੀ ਉੱਤੇ ਨਾਲ ਕਿੰਨਿਆਂ ਕਬੂਤਰਾਂ ਦੀ ਕੋਠੀ ਉੱਤੇ ਨਾਲ ਟੁੱਟ ਪੀ ਕੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਸ਼ਾਮ ਨੂੰ ਬੁਲਾਉਂਦੇ ਬੱਕਰੇ ਬੁਲਾਉਂਦੇ ਬੱਕਰੇ ਰਾਜਾ ਇਸ ਜੱਟੀ ਉੱਤੇ ਕਰਦਾ ਯਾਰ ਇਸ ਜੱਟੀ ਉੱਤੇ ਕਰੂਗਾ ਨਾ ਯਾਰੋ ਜੱਟਾਂ ਦੇ ਪੁੱਤਾਂ ਦੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਵਾਕੇ ਵੱਖਰੇ ਸੁੱਖ ਤੇਰਾ ਦੇਖੇ ਬਿਨਾ ਸੋਹਣੀਏ ਮਿੱਤਰਾਂ ਦਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਵੇਰਾ
ਸਾਂਝਾ ਕਢਾ ਕੇ ਦੇ ਦੇ ਮਿੱਤਰਾ ਅੱਡੀ ਮਾਰ ਕੇ ਲੰਘੂਗੀ ਦਰ ਤੇਰਾ
ਤੇਰਾ ਦੇਖੇ ਬਿਨਾ ਸੋਹਣੀਏ ਮਿੱਤਰਾਂ ਦਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਵੇਰਾ
ਸਾਂਝਾ ਕਢਾ ਕੇ ਦੇ ਦੇ ਮਿੱਤਰਾ ਅੱਡੀ ਮਾਰ ਕੇ ਲੰਘੂਗੀ ਦਰ ਤੇਰਾ
ਕੰਨ ਤੇ ਚਕੋਰ ਜਿਵੇਂ
ਬੜਵਾ ਤੇ ਡਰ ਜਿਵੇਂ
ਕੰਨ ਤੇ ਚਕੋਰ ਜਿਵੇਂ
ਬੜਵਾ ਤੇ ਡਰ ਜਿਵੇਂ
ਗਿਆ ਪਿਆਰ ਤੇਰਾ ਮੇਰਾ
ਸਾਂਝਾ ਕਢਾ ਕੇ ਦੇ ਦੇ ਮਿੱਤਰਾ ਮਿੱਤਰਾ ਸਾਂਝਾ ਕਢਾ ਕੇ ਦੇ ਦੇ ਮਿੱਤਰਾ ਅੱਡੀ ਮਾਰ ਕੇ ਲੰਘੂਗੀ ਦਰ ਤੇਰਾ ਸਾਂਝਾ ਕਢਾ ਕੇ ਦੇ ਦੇ ਮਿੱਤਰਾ ਅੱਡੀ ਮਾਰ ਕੇ ਲੰਘੂਗੀ ਦਰ ਤੇਰਾ
हो मारे या कोई मारे ना यहाँ अपनी भी थोड़ी अदा थोड़ा अंदाज है ऐसे हैं चाहे वैसे हैं अरे जो भी हैं जैसे हैं खुद पे हम नाज है जाने ना हमको ये ज़माना चाहो तो हमको आसमाना यारबाज हम चालसाज हम इश्कबाज दिल वाले कहते हैं हमको प्यार से इंडिया वाले छुए दिल के तार से इंडिया वाले हर चीले हार से इंडिया वाले दुश्मन के छक्के छुड़ा दे हम इंडिया वाले दुश्मन के छक्के छुड़ा दे
Don't worry, I'm not going to dance. Missing the words to comment on this performance. Amazing. It is really showing the charm and the liveliness of India. I think it was really enjoyable. I could watch it for another hour, but some nice smells are coming over here, so I guess a lot of you will be slowly becoming hungry. So let me close this event with a few words of thanks. First of all, I would like to thank Mr. Ott and Mr. Steinrücke for taking the trouble to come out here from Mumbai, or Cochin even, and gracing this event with your presence. Thank you very much. But first of all, and on behalf, I think, of all of us in Schmersal, India, and Schmersal worldwide, I would like to express the thanks to Mr. Schmersal for having taken the decision and having the courage to invest in India in a difficult time. As we all know, 2011 was not easy. It is, Mr. Steinrücke, I have to contradict you there, it is not just another factory. It is something else. It's not, it is a statement. This building is a statement that we are here to stay and to grow. And I think this takes the courage of somebody like Mr. Schmersal, and I think we all thank him for that. I also wish to thank the German colleagues, especially Mr. Karl, Mr. Loss, Mr. Stoff, and Mr. Eisold for their continued support over the last 2-3 years to make all this happen. Because without your backup, this would never have been possible. I would also like to take the opportunity to thank MPS, Mr. Meyer and Mr. Sander, for the architects for this building, who guided this project, and to make it a success. As you may know, this building was awarded the prize Best Industrial Building in India in 2013 by the Indian Builders Association. So I think this is also quite, thank you very much for that. I also would like to thank the friends and colleagues from the Indo-German Chamber of Commerce here in Pune, who have given constant support, and we have a good cooperation. I think we are an active member, and we have some future plans which have been already mentioned, which is especially going into vocational training of young Indian workers to make them skilled workers, and we will start this project next year together, and I'm looking very much forward to that. I also would like to thank all the other distinguished guests for taking the trouble to come out here to Ranjangaon. It's not easy, from wide and far, near and far, from Nasik, from Brazil, from China, from Nayangaon. So thank you very much for your presence. I hope you all enjoyed this event. And finally, really, I would like to thank the artists for this great performance, the event organizers, and the caterers whose services you will enjoy in a short while. And also I would like to thank all the colleagues in Schmersal, India, who have worked tirelessly behind the scenes to make this event happen. If you imagine that this palace was, until 2 days ago, it was a naked industrial hall. So you can see what you can do in India overnight within 2 days. In Germany, we would say, die Heinzelmännchen have come. So we would propose to you that if you are interested to have a tour of the factory, we would ask you to separate into 2 groups. One group would start from this corner, and one group would start from that door over there. So you're free whichever field you want to go. After the tour, the buffet will be open, and of course you're all invited to have a nice lunch after such hard work of sitting here and cracking nuts and working hard. So thank you very much once again, and enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you.